all things Halloween. This is hauntformer, and I have a very exciting video prepared for you all today. As you know, Spirit Halloween has been in the back of my mind ever since I went to the flagship store, and I wanted to get some video content out about the future and the past of Spirit Halloween. Now, I did a video talking about potential reskins for the new animatronics, and while I love the new animatronics, and I think this is one of the best years Spirit has ever done, I wanted to go back and think about the past. Reminisce on those nostalgic memories of going into Spirit in 2007, and all the way up until 2021. We've seen a lot of returning characters at Spirit Halloween, whether it's the flesh-eating zombie, Uncle Charlie, Wacky Mole, Bloody Bag of Jokes. There have been a slew of different characters, and seeing the teases that Spirit has been poking at us, like with Pumpkin Nester, for example, or the Crypt Keeper, interesting choices, it's safe to assume that I think we're going to get more returning animatronics in the future, and Pumpkin Nester, I think, is a good start in terms of fan popularity. But today, we're not talking about all of the fans. We're talking about this fan. Today, I am going to be ranking my top 10 personal returning props that I want to see. Now, in the comments below, let me know what animatronic do you want to see return to Spirit. Take any animatronic from Spirit Halloween and drop it in the comments. Though I will say, for this list, I have chosen to specifically talk about non-licensed characters. As with my other video, I chose to go the licensed route because it would be easier to come up with those ideas. I think it's safer to assume that it's more easy and accessible for Spirit to bring back a non-licensed animatronic than one that has rights and copyright to get through, because if that was the case, Hannibal Lecter, case closed. But I realize that that probably won't happen, so for this video, I'm going to be talking about non-licensed animatronics. Keep in mind too, this is my opinion. So if you're expecting Pumpkin Nester, if you're expecting clowns, if you're expecting Rosemary on this list, or Demonica, while none of those are necessarily bad, they're not my personal picks. I'm specifically talking about things I want to see return. Let me know in the comments, though, what you want to return. There are a lot of characters that I would love to see again, so don't be surprised if you don't see ones that I may enjoy, for example, Wolf Spitter or the Howler, but I didn't put them in this video because I wanted to pick the ones that I truly think would make an impression on me returning. They're from my least significant to my most significant, but all of these truly would be great to see returning. With that being said, and my handy dandy phone for notes, let's count down the top 10 props hauntformer, me, hi, would like to see return to Spirit Halloween. Coming in at number 10, we have the Barnyard Butcher. Now, Barnyard Butcher is a weird MO for me, I have to be honest, because I'm not usually the farm guy. People think of me as the zombie guy or the alien guy, which a lot of this list will contribute to that very fact. But no one can deny that the Barnyard Butcher is among some of the greatest animatronics of Spirit Halloween's past. I've always really appreciated the detail, the gore, the scariness put into this character, and I'm actually a little ashamed that I never got it back when it came out. I really do think this could be a really fantastic returning prop. It would make a lot of heads spin, and you know I would be in line to check one out for myself. Coming in at number 9, again, some of these choices were hard, but I tried to rank it in terms of what I would personally want to see. Number 9 is the Limb-Eating Zombie Boy. Now, some of these could be chalked up to them actually being legit good props, some of them nostalgia. I suppose Limb-Eating Zombie Boy falls somewhere in the middle. I have a lot of good memories from the days of 2012, 2013, right in there. And Limb Eating Zombie Boy was among my favorites for the 2013 season. I really like the position he's in. I really like that he's not an adult. He's a junior zombie. I think it added something different to that character, and the animation was quite creepy. I could see myself using it a lot in my haunts that I do, and so with a lot of these, zombies are kind of the thing I'm looking for these days. And it's funny because back in those days, I wasn't advocating for zombies because they were making so many of them, and now I wish that we'd see more zombies. So, kind of funny how times change, isn't it? One day in the future, I'll be begging for clowns, I'm sure. Coming in at number 8, we have a fan favorite, the Bone Collector. Now, the Bone Collector here would actually be a prop I could see Spirit bringing back. One, because it's awesome and not too hard to replicate, and 2, because we already have seen Uncle Charlie return from Cirque du Spirit, and Bone Collector comes right out of the same theme. It's not too hard to get this character back, and boy oh boy, would he be a sight to see. I do love me some skeletons, and Bone Collector may be one of the best. I just love the design on him. It's so out there and weird, yet so Halloween. I just really enjoy this animatronic, and I would love to see it come back to Spirit. Let's go to number 7, an all-time classic favorite theme of mine, my favorite Spirit Halloween theme. If you didn't see that video, go check it out. From the Zombie Wasteland of 2011, we have the Twilight Twitcher Zombie. Now, the Twilight Twitcher was not my favorite prop from that theme, and not even my favorite zombie. The Flesh-Eating Zombie was right next to him, and I preferred the Flesh Eater over the Twilight Twitcher, but it doesn't mean I don't love the Twilight Twitcher Zombie. The animation, the sound, and the unique design to him are really what attract me to this animatronic, and I really do think it would be a popular pick for fans to see this guy return to Spirit Halloween Superstores. Another popular and nostalgic year for Spirit was 2009. I had a really good store right by my house. I remember picking up the Executioner, and there were a lot of really interesting props that year. Of course, Michael Myers stands out, and there was like the Countess and the boxed up, the caged up, whatever you want to call them. But again, going with zombies here, I have to say the Deadlift Zombie was among one of my favorites. This guy can partially be chalked up again to nostalgia. I do think the glowing red eyes could be better, but on the whole, I really enjoy the creativity of this character. The fact that he has no legs and he lifts himself up, that really nostalgic, classic Spirit audio of the Deadlift Zombie makes for one of the coolest designs I've ever seen for a zombie animatronic. And there's a few others on this list that I think would suit Spirit really, really well going into the future in terms of redesigns and reproducing these animatronics. Because going into our next one, we have the Chinup Zombie. Now, what's kind of funny is that the Deadlift Zombie, the Chinup Zombie, and the next zombie I'm going to talk about, they all have no legs. I don't know why that's the case. Deathcrawler, who's one of my favorite zombies, also has no legs. I guess I have a thing for zombies with no legs? Strange. But nonetheless, Chinup Zombie is a prop I remember from my childhood. It does get a little annoying, the repetitive audio, but it actually managed to be pretty creepy. This guy always rubbed me the wrong way in stores, and I don't even know if I would classify it fully as a zombie, maybe a human turning into one, but his screams for help, mixed with the really cool animation and the unique design, as well as being a cool sculpt to begin with, makes this one of the most iconic Spirit Halloween creations ever, and a really good contender for returning props. Now we're moving down into, I think we're in our top 4 now. We've made it all the way to number 4 on my list here. And number 4, again, another one with no legs, the Headbanging Zombie. I don't think I realized back in those days what I was missing out on And sometimes they say, you know, you don't really miss something until it's gone. And Headbanging Zombie is certainly the case. Now, I have had a difficulty with hanging props, and that's probably the same reason I didn't gravitate to this zombie. But looking back, it could be so useful to me for so many reasons. I think its posability is endless. I think the face, the sculpt is amazing. It's actually pretty scary, and the eyes actually work on it. Whereas most of the time I don't prefer the light up eyes, I think this one utilizes them very well. It's from the classic mill theme of Spirit, so it has that nostalgia in there too, but as a standalone zombie prop, I do think it's perhaps one of the best. Really cool animatronic. I would love to see all of these get brought back, but these top few I really think could make an impact. You feel me? Number 3 is going to be one that I guarantee is going to have its own hashtag, the Ripping Reaper of Souls. In terms of Grim Reapers, it's a character that we've seen time and time again, and it's one of my favorite Halloween characters, really, because it symbolizes death, and it lets us confront that in a safe way. But Ripping Reaper of Souls is the best Reaper I've ever seen, and that design is so cool, how he opens his cloak to reveal all the souls. Very similar to Freddy Krueger in a way, but completely different because it's the Reaper, and I think he looks just so gnarly looking. Spirit, if you're watching this, take notes on the Ripping Reaper from 2009 specifically, because I think more than anything else, he would be a definite to bring back. I'm sure along with Pumpkin Nester too. I know that might be your plan, but personally Pumpkin Nester was not nearly as impactful as the Ripping Reaper and the following 2 animatronics. Which leads me to number 2, the Mad Scientist from Spirit Halloween 2008. This is an oldie, but boy is this a goodie. I love this guy. We don't see a lot of Mad Scientists. We've really only had 2. We've had the Evil Scientist and the Mad Scientist. And this guy is somewhat cartoonish in its design, but it's just so darn cool. Screams classic Halloween to me. I love the brain getting exposed. The laughter is contagious. And honestly, I think if he came back, it would be such a showstopper at Spirit. To see the Mad Scientist return. I think he ranks among the most iconic Spirit props ever. Whether or not you like him or not, you can't deny that his face has gone on with Spirit history, because he was one of the great big animatronics back in his day. And for me, being a laboratory science lover, I would eat it up. Please consider this one, but not as much as my number 1 pick. Now, this one might be one that you slept on. Maybe you haven't even thought about it since it came out. But for me, this might be the prop that I've missed out on the most. And I don't know if we'll ever get it to return. But I would petition here for Spirit to consider any of these props on this list. But number 1 is going to go to Eaten Alive. Now, Eaten Alive is from, yet again, I'll say it again, the best Spirit theme. You can fight me in the comments. The Zombie Wasteland. You know why it's my favorite. I don't even have to explain myself here. But the Eaten Alive animatronic, I don't know if it's better than a flesh-eating zombie, but they're neck and neck. And while I went to I gravitated, I should say, towards the flesh-eating zombie in my younger days, now I long for a chance to go after Eaten Alive. And I know they're available online. They get a little pricey, and I really think that design with the rat eating the guy would be such a great prop to bring back. And come to think of it, he's also a zombie with no legs. So there's another one. I don't know what my deal is, but something about that design adds for so much creativity, whether it's lifting up, hanging, pulling itself, or in this case being eaten by a rat. I don't know. Zombies, man, there's so many things you could do with them, just like aliens, which is why I love them. So, with all of that being said, those are the count 'em 10 animatronics that I personally would have return the Spirit Halloween, but these are just my opinions at the end of the day. Who really cares about mine? Let's hear yours down in the comments below. I'd be curious to hear about the most popular, because there's so many animatronics. I could think about Mean Old Gramps, I could think about Cemetery Angel, Smoldering Zombie, gosh, I don't even know. You could even take a prop from a few years ago and remake it. The world's your oyster. Let me know what you think in the comments. And remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.